What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Heart Over Height episode. Today we're going to be going over free agents that are still available and where they should possibly land and all that. So if you do enjoy this kind of content, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below your favorite free agent thus far that is still available. And with that being said, let's get right on into it. So first up, the biggest name left is Demar Derozan. Now, DeMar is at the point in his career where it seems like his market is not huge. He's still putting up stats. You know, it's 24 points a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 48% from the field, 30% or 33% from three. He is a very good mid-range scorer, as we know. The problem is he's a very good mid-range scorer, and he can't stretch that out to the three ball too well. He played in a place like Chicago that winning was not number one option kind of thing. They have had a lot of injuries. The abundance of talent that they put together, Lonzo, DeMar, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, clearly did not work out as Lonzo's been injured. They're now trying to find another team for Lonzo. And so DeMar's looking to find his next role. And that being, he's been linked a lot to a team like Sacramento or Miami. Now, one thing about Sacramento that I don't necessarily love is the spacing situation with him, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, right? I understand you have Keegan, who's a decent three-point shooter. And if you keep Kevin Huerter, you have another decent three-point shooter. But those two don't attack the basket like De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis and DeMar do. So when you have three guys who obviously De'Aaron Fox is going to want, he will be the number one option. Right? If I'm, let's use the Nuggets as an example. You have Jokic in the paint. You have Aaron Gordon. So you have Jokic defending Sabonis, right? Then you have Aaron Gordon defending somebody like either a DeMar DeRozan or Keegan Murray. If I am that third defender, let's just use Peyton Watson for example, and Peyton Watson is defending DeMar, and DeMar is sitting in the corner or on the wing or something like that, I am letting him shoot threes all day so that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis don't beat us by driving into the paint. If DeMar DeRozan makes 5 threes a game, then okay, I'll bite the bullet and I'll be like, all right, my bad. I just think at this moment in time, DeMar DeRozan should not go and play at a place like Sacramento, is I don't see the fit, especially since they've possibly been in talks about Brandon Ingram or Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen, I have been saying, is the perfect fit in Sacramento. So I think you put all your eggs in that basket first, and you try and go get Lauri Markkanen, and then see what pieces you need to fit later. Right? A package centered around Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and then maybe you absorb the contract in John Collins as well. John Collins plays off the bench. You get Lauri Markkanen starting alongside Sabonis. That's perfect. Don't worry about DeMar right now. He could still be available. I just think that there's better fits for Sacramento. Now, Miami, we have no clue what Miami's doing with Jimmy Butler. A lot of confusing things going on over there. So I think DeMar should take a risk and go over to Miami, go play with a guy like Tyler Hero, Bam, Jaime Jaquez, etc., and just go and ball out over there. I think that would be a better fit for him versus his fit in Sacramento. Because there's no shot at him either being he's not going to be the sixth man of the year either, because you got Malik Monk over there coming off the bench, and people in Sacramento love Malik Monk. So I would say take the risk, take your talents over to South Beach in Miami, and try and win there. All right. Tyus Jones is, in my opinion, the most valuable free agent still available. No disrespect to DeMar or anything. I just think Tyus Jones is a point guard that every team could use. When he was on Memphis, he was the best backup point guard in the NBA. Now starting for Washington, and now a free agent. I see him fitting perfectly in a situation where a team needs a point guard, i.e. the Lakers could use somebody that playmakes for them, doesn't worry about scoring the ball, etc. They tried it with Austin Reeves. It just doesn't really seem like it's working out. And D'Angelo Russell, I mean, it's just name chasing. So I see D'Angelo Russell, if they can find a team that's willing to take him, he will be shipped off. Another team would be like Phoenix. Phoenix could desperately use somebody like Tyus Jones. He would be the perfect fit over there because he's a good floor general. Devin Booker's not a point guard. Bradley Beal's not a point guard. Kevin Durant, not a playmaker. Like the Lakers get away with it because they have LeBron, who can be the point small forward, power forward, whatever you want to call him. But the Suns don't have that. So him going over there and going and trying to win, now it's all up to Tyus on whether he wants to win now or he wants more money. Because if you're trying to win and then go get your bag, that's an option. I could see that working out very well for Tyus. But watch out for those two teams specifically. Now, of course, there's a bunch of other teams in the mix, but I like the fit for those two. All right, next up we have Saddiq Bey, who is one of those guys that will help a team fill the championship need, as in not that he's going to put a team on his back and carry them, but if you look over at the last couple NBA champions, Boston, Denver, Golden State, even Milwaukee, long wings that can defend and shoot the three ball. And last season was a very down season for Saddiq Bey. When he was over in Detroit, he was shooting that three ball so well. This is the perfect guy for Sacramento. That 3-and-D wing put alongside another 3-and-D wing in Keegan Murray. De'Aaron Fox is still your guy. You have Sabonis there. The floor is spaced very well. That will also alleviate the pressure of needing to, or being like desperate to trade Harrison Barnes, right? So once you don't desperately need to keep Harrison Barnes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And same thing with Kevin Huerter. There is no desperate need to keep either of those guys now, because you go out and you go get Saddiq Bey, who I think will be very cheap, just like this, because he had a down season. Perfect fit in Sacramento. Golden State is another option because he just kind of fits that system. He can space the floor, 3-and-D kind of guy. Fits along really well alongside Jonathan Kuminga, Curry, and Draymond. Next up, we have Gary Trent. I could see him fitting over in somewhere like Dallas or with the Clippers. Also, keep an eye out for Miami. Now, this is because of his three-point shooting. I don't think that he's going to go out and get 18 mil. He could, because 18 mil is a lot less money now than it used to be. And it seems like a lot of teams are handing out a lot of money. The problem is, though, a lot of teams are scared about that second apron. So a lot of these organizations handed out their money to keep their players, and it's just like the second apron kind of screws over these middle-of-the-pack players, the Gary Trent Jr.'s, and the Tyus Joneses and all those, because it's getting to a point where you're either going to need a bag or you're going to need a more smaller contract, because you didn't go and bite the bullet right off the first day of free agency when a lot of teams had money. Gary Trent is falling into that spot where he might need to just take a smaller contract just to have a spot to play next season. Take a risk on himself, play very well, and then so I could see him with a team like Dallas, who's looking for more shooting. Their problem in the finals was they couldn't shoot the three ball. They didn't have good defenders. He's not the greatest defender, but he doesn't. His big issue also is passing. He don't need to pass. He doesn't need to pass when he's just gonna be sitting in a corner shooting a three. He shoots 40% from three. Perfect fit over there. All right, next up I want to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie he had a very down year. Now, he fits in that same category as Gary Trent Jr., where he got a lot of money last season, $20 million. He ain't going to get close to that this year. I don't see it. I see him, because he's like 6'6" as a guard, it's phenomenal. You put him alongside a guy like Trae Young, who Trae Young kind of seems like he needs to go back to his old self, where he doesn't necessarily need that secondary superstar there like they tried with DeJounte. He needs a great defender who can make plays here and there. It's kind of Spencer Dinwiddie's kind of falling into a place where he might just have to take a huge cut. And just, I don't know if there's even a spot for him. But I see, like, the fit of Trae Young and Spencer Dinwiddie. That's why I'm saying. The Hawks, for example. Because of his size. Now, will the fit work over there? I don't know. But he has proved in the past years that he can play alongside other guards. D'Angelo Russell, for example. He played over in Dallas for a little bit there. So, next up, I want to talk about the first restricted free agent, and that's Isaac Okoro. Isaac Okoro is a solid. He's turning into someone who can shoot the three ball on a consistent basis. Now, when he first came in the league, that was not the case. He was very streaky. But if he can keep this up where he is a dependable three-point shooter, he is the ideal 3-and-D guy, similar to, like I was saying, Sadiq Bey, similar to the championship wings that we saw with, for example, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the Bruce Browns of the world, where all championship contending teams are going to be looking at a guy like him. Now, what he needs to try and do is go get a fat contract wherever he can and then hope that Cleveland matches it, right? I would like to see him stay in Cleveland just for the sake of him being – he fits decently well, and with the question marks on Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, whether they work together, whether they don't. And then, obviously, Donovan Mitchell is there to stay. You need to clear the paint for him, right? You have a little bit of a clogged paint with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen there. So, Isaac Okoro is a good fit if he can stay a reliable three-point shooter. Next up, I have Dario Saric here. Dario Saric is a solid player. Backup center minutes, spot minutes at the power forward. He is going to go to more of a contending team or just go get a bag, because last year he made $2.7 million. I kind of see a similar contract for him this year. I don't really see him having a huge market, just going to play backup center for, you could backup power forward even for someone maybe like Philly, because Philly, B-Ball Paul just got waived today. They signed Andre Drummond, so off the bench you have that stretch big. And then it doesn't hurt to have more bigs on that roster, especially since Joel Embiid does have that injury history. So watch out for him over there, but solid free agent still available. At number 8 here, also all this information is on hoopshype.com. This is the website that I was just reacting to here. So if you want more information, you can go over to their website as well. At number 8, they have Gordon Hayward, who I was surprised by this number. I thought that he'd be a little bit higher because he does kind of, although he's a little bit older, he does kind of fit that 3-and-D-esque Sadiq Bey. And he just didn't get the opportunity to shine over in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma obviously has everything going on great over there. They got the 3-and-D wings they already need, so they didn't necessarily need him. He did bring a good veteran leadership in the locker room, though, for them. Now, $31 million is no way he's getting that much money. So I could see him going to a team like Sacramento, Golden State, Miami, where he goes and gets a smaller contract, the Lakers, for example, and he just goes to go win. Now, yeah, I think he's obviously a phenomenal three-point shooter, 41%. And hopefully he goes and gets an opportunity to kind of revive his career a little bit. Ever since that ankle injury, I mean, he's never been the same guy. So I'm hoping that he can come back and be a lot better. Because I really like Gordon Hayward. When he played over in Utah, and then obviously I'm a Celtics fan, so when he came over to the Celtics, I was very hyped for him. And then 5 minutes into his career with Boston, he, of course, messed up his ankle. But I see him. He got his bag at one point, so now it's time to go try and get your ring. So next up, Precious Achiuwa. Now he's going to be somebody that I would like to see him somewhere where he can go be a solid backup center. So you look at teams that need a backup center. New York is an option because obviously they lost out on Isaiah Hartenstein. I could see him in somewhere like New Orleans with the Pelicans. The Pelicans need a center in general. They don't have Jonas Valanciunas anymore. He went over to Washington. He might end up there as a good backup center, and then hopefully the Pelicans can get a starting center in a trade with Brandon Ingram so that you can let your young guys flourish. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. Because I've been saying that 3-and-D wings is going to win you a lot of games in today's league. Next up, Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker at number 10 is the last guy on this list. Solid shooting guard. He reminds me a lot of like a J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson, Malik Monk, Jeremy Lamb, Lonnie Walker, right? Streaky guys, not the greatest scorers, or not the worst scorers, sorry. They are good scorers, but when they're off, it looks a little rough. But when they're on, man, they are hitting. And Lonnie Walker fits that. Now, he took $2.3 million is not a lot of money. And he's got some decent splits here. Now, the problem is he went over and played in Brooklyn, which didn't have a lot going on over there. They had Cam Thomas, of course, Nicholas Claxton over there too. But if you're another organization, are you willing to offer him more money than something like this, especially with stuff like the second apron? If I am a team like Miami, I'm giving him a shot. San Antonio even, I'll give him a shot. You could even see, like, to add some depth to a squad, maybe Golden State. You could see, I don't even know, Houston, for example, could be a squad, but they got a lot of stuff going on over there. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of guards already. The Bucks, if they could make something happen there, because he's super cheap. His market is kind of flourishing, especially with the guys. You see guys like Demar Derozan who fits that mold as well, being the top name left. So we'll see. Hopefully he does get a contract. But if you guys did enjoy this video, do me a huge favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment down below your favorite free agent left and where you'd like to see him go. So with that being said, guys, it's been another Heart Over Height episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.